When your voice is listened to in school, it feels welcoming and warming so that you feel like you do really belong in the school.
The thing about agency that's really important within wellbeing in school communities is that schools are big places. We think of comprehensive schools and some of them have up to 1,700, 1,800 pupils within them. And so then there's something really special about being part of such a big school community and yet still feeling that you have a voice, that you matter, that you're noticed, and that the people around you care about you as an individual, not just as a collective.
To me, importance for children to have a say in school is because most of the time children have the rights to also listen to people's voices and to also have their voices for themselves and for the good ideas in their hands.
Well, we're given a voice. The school gives us a voice. We can talk to people. We can voice anything. We can talk about our problems. We can talk about anything that we have wrong. We can talk to anyone. We're not shied away from that.
Well, with Pembroke Primary, when we first came here, they told us about their open door policy, and that really is true. That is what they do have. They have an open door policy. I've got 3 children in Pembroke, and over the years we've had numerous things that we've had to discuss, from small little things like trying to settle them in or bigger things that we've had to discuss. And honestly, they've been a real shoulder to cry on at times. Sometimes I've approached them with things that I know potentially are quite trivial, but they've listened, they've given me that time and even dropped what they're doing to show me that level of attention. So I really do feel that the school as a whole really take on board the well-being of the children, but also the well-being of the parents, which was really important to me when I chose Pembroke.
Having a teacher that makes me feel expressive and letting me explain what I'm feeling makes me feel safe, and this school is very safe, and I'm happy my parents brought me here.
One of the good things that they've got in this school is some picture emojis by the classroom door. So when they come in the morning, the children are able to tap on the happy face or the not so happy face or the sad face, and the teacher watches that as they go into the classroom. And obviously if they are tapping on a face which looks sad, then they know that they can take that child on one side when there's a quiet moment and have a word with them and make sure that there's nothing that's troubling them before they start the day. And I think that's an excellent way to kind of encourage children to be happy in their school environment.
In preparing for the new curriculum, pupil voice is very important. It's important for children to realise that they can change the world, that their voice is really important and they are able to change the future. They need to work hard, they need to listen to others, but ultimately listening to their voices is really important.
A time where I had a voice in school and there was a big problem with it was the LGBT community. In the LGBT community in school, I've set up a club, and for this club, since so many people in school are LGBT or have LGBT related problems, many people bully them for it because they are a little bit different, still human but a little bit different, and just because they're different, they get bullied for it. So I set up a group, and the wellbeing is important from that, is so that they have a place around children their age they can talk to and confide in, since adults might not understand, or it might be something different for them, and they might be still questioning, but it's some way they can have an impact and still have people they can talk to and feel safe.
And it means that I can make an impact in the school, so then when I leave the school, then I'll know that I've changed something. That makes me feel happy and it makes me feel included.
The thing about agency for me is that it's particularly important for children and for staff to feel that they have a say on what goes on in their school community. It's about having a voice. It's about having your needs and your kind of wants and desires of what you want to affect upon a change in your school that it's actually going to happen and that you've got that opportunity to be able to do that. So that might be through school councils, it's about staff groups that can actually have an impact on terms of what the school environment might be like, and therefore that means that you feel that you're actually part of something, that you have an impact on what's actually going to go on in that school community because your voice is heard.
Being valued is also like, it can make my mental health go up by a lot. Like I could come in with a bad day, angry or upset with my mum, and someone taking their time to like talk to me and making sure I'm alright, it makes me feel valued, and I feel like special, because it's like you could just choose to ignore me and let me get on with it myself, but you try, and it's the fact that they're trying their hardest, and it's just, it makes me feel like someone actually cares.
We've got our other interventions and activities like our Dell Farm, which is it was really set up as an inclusion project initially for children who find break times and lunch times a bit more of a challenge. And then we have other things going on as well, like our radio station, and you know, a wealth of clubs and opportunities for children to be leaders in school as well.
You can't stand out, you can't worry about being too different in a school where everybody's different and everybody's valued for being different.
It's so closely associated with kind of health and well-being, because if you think about times in your life when you haven't felt like you've got any sense of agency, when stuff happens around you and you've got no way of kind of managing that actually that has a critical effect on people. And when you do feel like you can kind of, you know, that when I ask for something or when I say this isn't working for me, that somebody says, oh gosh, yeah, I recognise that, and we can do something about that, and we can make a real difference. That gives you a real sense of safety and security in the community that you were in.
If, say, right, they can tell, like, it's common that you would tell them stuff like that. So whenever if I go to Miss Tilly and I want to talk to her about something, I'll mention things that I like. So I'll say, oh yeah, my gecko has been like eating well lately, and I'm happy about it. Or like, I just got a new dog and I'm really excited about it because I love dogs. And then they can kind of add all the pieces together. And when something bad happens, like say my dog passes, they know how much you love them, so they can just help you with that because they know, really.
So when I was chosen as a digital leader, I was really happy because I like do loads of stuff at home on like computers and stuff, and when people are like stuck on the Chromebooks and they don't know what to do, we go and help them.
It makes me feel that somebody's taking notice. So I'm involved with the school quite heavily as well. I'm chair of the PTA, so we set up various groups as well, and to get that feedback from the staff and to have them checking on us and telling us that we are appreciated as parents, not just getting the bad news when something's happened with your child at school. Yeah, it makes me feel appreciated and like it's worth making the effort.
I think the thing that makes the difference to staff wellbeing is the way staff feel they're able to do their job. I think when you get the why bit right, there's a sign on the wall outside the staff room, in the staff corridor, that talks about never forget the reason you're here is to shape the minds and the souls of the most vulnerable people in our community. You chose to work here, it's not a sentence. And I think, although there are some things in learning that we have to be relentless on in terms of standards, in terms of getting the best for the children, we have to remember and say to the staff frequently, implicitly as well as explicitly, you chose this job, you wanted to do this, let me free you up and allow you to do that job as much as I can. Yes, there's paperwork to do in any role, isn't there? Yes, there's accountability. But when we can actually put yes in people's hearts, it sounds a bit cheesy maybe, but when you can actually put yes there and you can say if it's the right thing to do for the children, for their well-being, for their learning, then it has to be the right thing to do. And I'm constantly saying yes to people when they come to me with ideas, but generally they don't, because if it's the right thing to do for the children, and they'll do it anyway. They don't need to ask permission. That's our culture here, and culture is always going to be at the heart of any school.